I have a boring black welding helmet. I'm going to take some metal flake and my airbrush and try to make it less boring. Do I know what I'm doing? Absolutely not. Am I going to do it anyway? Yes, I am. What's up, guys? I'm Jeremy. Welcome back to Catfish Motorsports. Today, I'm going to take you through, I wouldn't call it a tutorial, but just my journey through making my welding helmet less boring. We're going to metal flake it. Then we're going to take an airbrush, put on graphics. We're going to use an inkjet transfer image, and we're going to do some gold leaf. I'm just a guy who likes to mess around. I am far from a pro at this stuff. I've done the metal flake and the airbrushing a handful of times. The image transfer and gold leaf, I've never done before. But that's a lot of what this is showing you that you don't have to be an expert to turn out a passable result and have fun while you do it. I'm going to step on some landmines and I'm going to try to point those out and stop you from maybe doing the same thing. But this is really about showing you like kind of what an amateur can turn out when they've only done it a couple of times. Talk about some of the materials and tools along the way, because this stuff really isn't that expensive compared to a lot of the rest of the hot rodding hobby. Yeah, you might spend a few $100s getting set up initially, but hey, I'm going to use almost all cheap tools in this, and the paint and stuff, I'm not using expensive stuff there either. There are a lot of really good resources if you do want to watch true professionals out there. Adam from Limeline, Time Warp Paint is really good. The Tropical Glitz guys have some really cool stuff. Tom Hudach, you know, just to name a few that you can find on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, etc. There's a lot of cool resources out there with a lot of dudes who are really good at this and really good at explaining what they're doing. And a lot of those guys also sell the affordable parts that we're talking about. Now, in the interest of keeping this at a reasonable length, I'm going to put you in fast forward through most of this and just kind of narrate over the top of it, because I have a tendency to monologue. So if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Starting off with disassembly, take a picture before you take it apart so you make sure you know how it goes back together. Just kind of showing here that does have some company logos on it. I ultimately just took some paint thinner on a rag. I think I actually used brake cleaner and rubbed them off. I like to play a fun game with myself. It's called I Just Saw This Thing Yesterday. This thing being a big ass Scotch-Brite pad. And now I don't know where it is. So stand by. Found it. Back of the Fairlane. I mean, why wouldn't it be in the back of the Fairlane? So this is what's passing for sanding in our case here, was rubbing the whole thing down with the Scotch-Brite pad. I have replacement lenses for this, so I'm not going to bother to mask that outer lens, but where you do have to mask, make sure you use a quality automotive masking tape. Even though we sanded it, this is still plastic, so I'm still going to use some adhesion promoter, and that's what this is. Moving on to primer here. Now, I, in well-documented fashion, don't like rattle can primer, but this stuff's actually pretty good. This is by Montana Colors. It's an MTN matte white base primer. Base coat, starting out with a nice light tack coat. This is Limeline Black Base. And this is a Harbor Freight purple detail gun. It's like a $12 gun. You do not need expensive tools to make this stuff work. Alright, she is all black. That's Limeline Base Coat Black. It's an affordable paint. This is Limeline Clear Base Coat. It's clear coat binder, whatever you want to call it. This will not shine on its own. It would need a 2K clear over top of it, which we're going to do. As you can see, we're sparkly. Try to get you in close so you can really see what it looks like. I ultimately decided to go
because here's what I had. I had all 0.4 flake except for black. I had both 0.4 and 0.8 in black. So we went double black, 0.008, 0.004, and then 0.004 gold and silver. So we've got black, gold, and silver in here. We'll see how that looks. I opted not to go with green because I want to use red candy, and red and green are complementary colors, which basically what that means is they'll turn each other brown. Now, of note, so nobody yells at me, you probably hear the exhaust fan I have going out the window. Once I start spraying, I have another fan over here that's going to be blowing everything towards that. You can say I also covered some stuff up. This stuff gets everywhere, so don't have anything close that you don't want stripper glittered.
This is my Eastwood gun to spray the flake. It's got a 1.7 tip in it. If you use Limeline's flake packets, which I recommend, they're easy to use and affordable, they say you can spray it out of a 1.3. So if you don't have a gun with a big needle set, stick to the Limeline flake. Hey, clear, the fun stuff, gives it the shine and it makes it durable. Now this gun is way too big for this project. This is my new Porfis 717. This was shot on Christmas Day and I had just gotten this as a present, so I just had to use it. I couldn't help myself. It did spray out beautifully. After the clear dries for a couple of days, we're going to go back over it and sand it all with about an 800 grit. Alright, starting to tape lines here, and you'll see as we go through this that I go through multiple iterations. Just start putting lines down, guys. You'll see what you like and what you don't. If you don't like it, pull it up. I did make my biggest mistake of the project here at some point. It's not on camera, but I got a little too aggressive with the razor blade and put a big scratch all the way through the clear in the base, and then later on when I pull tape lines up, it pulls it all the way up from the substrate. 100% my fault and 100% preventable. So just be careful with your razor blades, be very gentle. And here's going to be our fix for the spots that we pulled the paint up. We're using Inkjet water transfer image. This is just an AI image of a jack of diamonds that I made. You do have to spray it over the top with an acrylic clear. I didn't do that the first time and it all ran. Starting our airbrushing here, it's the second big mistake of the project. For the white only, I'm spraying just spray paint through my airbrush, and there was a lot of overspray. I should have been a lot more diligent and masked off larger areas. It would have saved me a headache later cleaning up, and it also would have just laid down way better. My gun would have been farther away from the surface. I had to hold it close because I had such little area masked. The red is Limeline Candy Concentrate in that same Limeline clear binder. And this stuff lays out way better than the spray paint did. The spray paint's fine, but it was a lot messier than the real candy is. Now this is an interesting point, I think. I'm just doing a simple sunray pattern here, and I'm just using the red candy, which works great on top of a silver metallic. But here, when we're using this dark metallic that's made primarily of black, it didn't pop as much. Later you're going to see me do a diamond where I do a black outline and then the red over top of it, and it just pops way harder. Take 2 with our image transfer. I actually properly clear coated it this time with some rattle can clear. Use a damp cloth and get all the air bubbles out. It all works out pretty easy. Just be gentle with it. You don't want to rub any of the color off of it. Watch the base eat away the corners of this image transfer here. I found out you have to put 2K clear over the image transfers before you start to spray base over them. Otherwise it will eat it away. I don't know why it reacts to the reducer in the base but not in the solvents in the clear, but it does for whatever reason. Some of the white overspray becomes really evident here as I start to pull some of these tape lines off. Should have done a better job masking in the first place. Here we can see some of the overspray from the white that I was talking about. I'm about to use a little trick where I put a tape line over it and then use some reducer, in my case an overspray remover spray on a Q-tip to clean up this line a little bit. And I could have done even more, but it was enough for me for what I was doing. Really, I could have just wiped the whole sunburst pattern off and did that panel over. Using the same concept, I decided I didn't like the graphic that I had on the front here. I completely wiped it off to start over. Remember that 2K clear that we sprayed over earlier is pretty durable, so you can get away with quite a bit here. On top of the dark flake, using black as an outline and to generate the shadows really helps a lot. Now, this is my first time doing gold leaf. I'm using Limeline leaf and sizing spray, and this is the second big mistake that I made with masking. Look how nasty this lays out because I've got the gun too close. Later you'll see me add masking and spray it from farther away. Look how much better that lays out. So don't be lazy with your masking and hold the gun further away when you're using this water-based size. Once your size dries, there's not much to this, just put it down. The only big thing I would say is once the glue catches it, lay it straight down. So you pull it to the side at all, once it's stuck, it is going to tear. And I'm using a makeup brush that I borrowed from my wife to burnish this year. It does make quite a bit of a mess. Later on you'll see me go stand over a garbage can and do it, which takes a little bit of the mess out of it. I'm pointing out a couple little mistakes here in it, but luckily you could just do double layers. It's actually recommended in most cases. So we just added some more size and put a double layer over each side. Razor blade mistake from earlier is about to strike again here, and we're going to pull up more paint, but the fix is just going to be to thicken the black shadow line that we have in there. I'm gonna machine turn this with a cotton ball here. They do sell little tools for this, but I didn't feel like giving anybody $50 for one, so we're just using a cotton ball. It doesn't quite have the brilliant effect that a tool probably would have, but it definitely makes a difference. And remember, this gold leaf is bare metals, so I'm just painting on some adhesion promoter that I sprayed into a cup out of that can behind us. This is pretty much our last paint step here. Some more 2K clear to make it all shine. Using the cheap Harbor Freight gun again because I didn't want to clean the nice Porpoise gun. Since we used that original outer lens for masking, threw a new lens in here, and all that's left to do is reassemble. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you had fun. Please like and subscribe, drop any questions in the comments, and I will put a link to a bunch of the products that I use in the description.